Hello Redditors, welcome back to Tales Against Humanity. Now, let's get started. In today's episode,
the security gates keep beeping. I work at a public library with several branches. All of the items at all the locations have RFID tags with our barcode numbers stored in them, along with a theft bit that gets turned on or off during check-in/checkout, respectively. Items also have a barcode on the front that can be scanned with an optical scanner. I'm at work at the main branch and get a call from a satellite branch. The security gates are beeping pretty much any time someone walks through them. The first thing I ask is there any chance there's an item close to the gates that's setting them off? Answer, no. So I'm not super familiar with the gates, and I'm not sure what I can do remotely. I dig through our files looking for any documents with troubleshooting suggestions. After maybe 10 minutes of that, I give up and drive out to the satellite location. I walk in through the security gates. There's a large fixture to one side that blocks people from just walking around them. On the inside face of that fixture are maybe a dozen books. These are generally things people have donated, so we just put them out for people to take, read, and bring back. If they keep them, no biggie, because they were donations anyway. I'm immediately suspicious. I walk over and chat with the folks working there. I ask about the books on display near the gates, how long they've been there, when they get put out, that sort of thing. While I'm doing that, one of the workers goes over, gathers them all up, and waves them through the gates. Nothing. But I told them earlier to just unplug the power cord because it kept beeping. So I plugged it back in, and they tried scanning all the books again. Still nothing. So I played around with the PC that ran some software that interfaced with the gates and pulled up a log of everything that had set them off. There were maybe 20 entries for that day, and all but 2 were of a single barcode. And the software is smart enough to interface with the catalog and tell you the name of the item. This one just said item not found. So finally, I walk back over to the gates and look at the books. They all look like donated items, except one. The items in the library are constantly cycling through, and tons of stuff gets sent off all the time. Sometimes those items are removed from the catalog, the front barcode is inked out, the security tag is turned off, and they get put into the free-to-borrow group. One of the books has a blackened out barcode on the front. I pick it up and open the back cover. There's an RFID tag, and the number on it matches the number from the logs of the item that set off the gates. I swing it through the gates, and sure enough, it sets them off. So I peeled it off, and that was it. What did I learn? As I've noted on other occasions, most people either leave out important information when they're telling us things, or they just don't articulate enough. I can think of half a dozen different situations I've tried to talk people through that I could have fixed remotely if I'd had them take a picture of what they were dealing with, because there'd been something in clear view that was completely obvious to me but not something they felt they needed to mention. When I asked, is there any chance there's an item close to the gates that's setting them off? I didn't think I needed to add, even if it's something you don't think could have an RFID tag in it. But now I have more questions to add to my tech support toolbox. Story 2. My desk computer keeps taking over. We are in the process of upgrading everyone from desktops to laptops so we can do more remote work. I get a call from one of our end users. User, Andvari, for some reason the icons on my laptop keep disappearing. Me, okay, what is going on when they disappear? Are you trying to open a program? Is the computer turning off? Any idea? User, I'm not sure, but my desktop does have icons on it, and I can navigate to them, but my laptop doesn't have anything on it. Me, at this point. Kinda thinking I might know what's up, but I can't really help him remotely, so I walk down to his office. The new laptops are set up with a dock. By default we set the monitor to the main display because. Why wouldn't you? This user honestly thought the monitor was a different computer when he plugged his laptop up to the dock. It took me 20 minutes of explaining to him for him to finally realize that the monitor was his laptop and everything he did on the monitor was available on his laptop once he took the laptop out of his office. Sometimes I wonder if we can go back to paper and pencil for some people. Surprised face. Story 3. Condensing Facts from the Vapor of Nuance. Title unrepentantly stolen from Neil Stevenson. Go read Snow Crash if you haven't already. For me, one of the best things about working in tech is the moments, few and far between though they are, where I feel like a psychic wizard because my brain takes a whole bunch of seemingly unrelated clues and crystallizes them into an answer that solves the problem. Here's an example. Years ago, I had the pager and everyone else was at lunch. I got paged to join a call about a database issue. I joined the conference call and gathered this description of the issue. The app was installed on the desktop machines of the end users. The backend was a database. Starting today, the users could create new records using the app, and they could retrieve old records, but if they tried to retrieve any records that had been entered today, the app would crash. Everyone was stumped. I was easily able to connect to the database. Nothing odd in any logs on the server side. The database was tiny, basically one main table and a few ancillary objects. I could select any row I wanted to out of the table, or all the rows, or any date range or whatever. It's pretty clearly not a database issue. While I am tinkering with all that, there is some background chatter. Someone is asking about the history of the app. How long has the app been in use? 5 or 6 years, let's say for the sake of this post. Any previous issues like this? Nope, it's been 100% trouble-free. How many records would you say you have entered over the years? Well, it's a small app and it's growing slowly because it's not a core part of our business. We entered a few hundred records the first year, a few thousand the second year, so on, so we must have about, 30,000 by now. That's the moment when the vapor condensed for me. Hold on a sec. I ran a quick query, select max, record_ID, from table name. Just over 33,000. I am guessing you haven't updated your app lately, is that true? Actually, yes. We're still running the original version. We have a plan to upgrade next year. Well, here's the thing. The issue isn't with the database at all. The issue is that your app is written in such a way that it defines the record_ID with a small integer. The version of the app you are using can't actually deal with record_IDs larger than 32,768. When you try to retrieve last year's records, the record_ID fits into that small integer, but today's records cause an overflow, and your app can't deal with it, so it bombs. You need to update the app on the user's workstations, and I suggest you do it much sooner than next year. Story 4. Keyboard drivers. This happened to me this morning on my way into work. I got a call to my cell phone via the after-hours emergency line 15 minutes before the start of the day from a user that reported he was having keyboard issues. Me, IT department, how can I help? Caller, I have a wireless Logitech keyboard and the number pad isn't working. I did some reading on the website and it said I need to install the driver for this keyboard. I don't know what I'm doing, can you please fix it? Me, That doesn't make any sense. None of the keyboards we use require a special driver. Caller, but Logitech said I need one, and when I went to a keyboard test website it said I was pressing the arrow key when I press, like, the number 5. Me, What? Caller, can't you remote in and help? Me, not at this exact moment, I am driving in. You got connected to after-hours support, the business day starts at 8 a.m. That being said, the only Logitech driver that you could possibly need is only to pair a keyboard or mouse with the receiver. If you are getting anything from the keyboard at all, that tells me it is paired to the receiver. You either have number lock turned off, or the keyboard is physically damaged. Caller, but the website said. Me, that website has you barking up the wrong tree. Can you find the number lock button on the keyboard? Caller, there isn't one, I've looked. Me, there should be one. To double check that we're on the same page. You have a regular wireless Logitech keyboard and the number pad on the right side isn't working? Caller, yes. The keyboard kind of works, but the number pad buttons don't make the right thing on the screen. Me, that sounds an awfully lot like you have number lock TUR. Caller, there is no number lock button on this keyboard. Me, I'm sure there is. Maybe it's combined with another key. Can you send me an email with? Caller, I'm just gonna read the instruction manual. I will call back after 8 o'clock if I need more help. Click. Nobody in IT ever did get a call back from them.